everybody. Welcome back to my show. It is Tuesday, April the 25th, 2023. And I got to thinking quite a bit about why exactly is it that it feels so difficult to communicate with one another about challenging conversations. And sometimes it's because we don't have the same central consideration for that which is being spoken about. For an example, if I told you that I have some difficulties communicating with my relatives, or a specific relative, let's say it was one of my parents, and let's say that you have had nothing but extreme success communicating with your parents, or with that specific parent, you may not be able to relate to what it is that I'm discussing or even describing in terms of my situation. So let's say that I'm out here in this wild place, and let's say that a lizard crosses the road at 7:30 p.m. while it's 87 degrees out on this otherwise pleasant day for lizards to be out and about on the road in particular. Let's say that's the first lizard that I saw crossing the road, and let's say that I'm passing by cactuses that have cactus blooms, full blooms, beautiful, almost acreages, and maybe I'll put a clip of that in this video, of cactus that are in bloom. And in some cases, as I'm driving these roads, it makes me reminisce about what it was like not that very long ago, when you could see lizard after lizard crossing the road, sunning in the road, putting on displays for any nearby lizard mates that may be watching. And because there would be so many lizards, you'd of course see the things that might prey on the lizards, like snakes, variety of snakes. Because you had that, oftentimes after nightfall, you would even see larger birds of prey, the nocturnal variety, like owls. And that was a very common thing. So I felt in this video series like putting together two compilations, one that just shows the things that I saw, doesn't have me talking at all. And then I thought about putting these daily clips that also include a little bit of how I'm feeling for the day. Now, I've met so many amazing people here today, even just today alone. And I even saw some friends who I saw yesterday. So in all of these encounters that seem like chance, but obviously aren't really left to chance, this is part of the bigger picture that I'm tapped into. As part of the circumstances, basically I'm meeting up with people who have similar passions. The passion of coming to these places for a variety of reasons helps us center a conversation around what it is that we're seeing in these places. And in all cases, I'm able to discuss rationally what we're seeing in these ecosystems, the great reduction of, for an example, the animals that used to be here, and the great increase in, like for an example, I just passed some paper product on the side of the road. There's so many things that I want to slow down and show you. In the past, it normally would be the wildlife, or the blooms of flowers, or the spectacular scenery, or the amazing wildlife. I think I already said that, but basically I would be showing you the things that there were to see here. Now, I'm passing by a lot of things that I take as a common experience. Like, I'm driving through this beautiful desert. It's amazing. You can see the sun is shining over my shoulder. The sun is going to set in about 1 hour, just under an hour, and I'm headed back to my campsite. I ended up being a part of the scenario that's causing some of these situations because I ended up going to the Cottonwood store out here in Studi Butte to replenish some supplies. And in those supplies, I basically got a great variety of fruits and vegetables. And I'm excited. I'm excited to enjoy those hydrating, juicy bits of nourishment. And I'm also significantly concerned that some of the things that I'm seeing happening in front of me are because we're not able to communicate a proper warning that says, hey, this is what's going on, this is what I've seen, and get that information. We're not able to successfully get that back to the higher ups, the people who dress up to go to the meetings to represent the corporations that are putting out most of these products, or at least a great variety of these products. If only we could consider all of the packaging items that, for an example, that you've seen on these video clips, if we could consider that some of these manufacturers could find a better way, instead of just trying to get the best cost available solution to the table, if we could just agree to at least consider that that's a possibility, that we could do that, then maybe we could have a conversation about that without getting irrationally angry at one another. Here, in this place where I'm able to talk with people who might have voted differently, who probably voted similarly, who all have a passionate, loving relationship with this place, even to the point where some people sound like they would fight to the death for this place. All of these people have one thing in common, and that is that we are all in favor of trying to figure out how to communicate more effectively among one another to bring to light some of the aspects that here I am talking for 7, almost 8 minutes, and I only saw the one lizard cross the road. Nothing else in these temperatures that are absolutely perfect for these types of circumstances, for the things that we used to see on a day such as this, in a place such as this. If your neck of the woods is sounding a little bit more quiet than it was in the past, I hope that you take the time to subscribe to this channel and help to share information in the conversations by clicking on the description, and maybe even point me in the direction of your news groups that might have a much greater knowledge base. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing on this island of a channel. And on this island of a channel, I feel that we're not so isolated. We're just a little bit uncertain about what to do next. For me, the only thing to do next is to consider that every day we're being placed into a position to communicate with certain people over and over, maybe even just once, but we're put in those positions repeatedly so that we can start to discern who it is that's actually going to help one another and who it is that basically is only of the mindset that they would rather just kill, steal, and destroy. So I think if you look at the road debris from yesterday, on yesterday's clip, day 2 I think is what that clip was called, I believe you'll see some interesting symbolism in what it is that I showcased that I found on the road during yesterday's drive. Today I've passed up a good number of items, and like I said, I recognize that I'm still a part of the circumstance, because whether we dispose of the items properly or forget the item on top of our vehicle and it blows off into the road and then the wind takes it to who knows where until it's seen again. We're all contributing to this circumstance, and until we can look at it and forgive ourselves, how can we even begin to consider forgiving others? Anyway, that's my major thought that I wanted to put into today's video. I'll try to keep the other videos a lot less heavy on the talking. Plus, that'll help it to be shorter in general so that I can upload it a little bit more easily. That way I can get up to my campsite a lot more quickly and actually try to get some sleep every now and then. If you watch my past videos, you know that I typically try to run the gauntlet and see what there is to see almost 24 hours a day out here. And things are looking very noteworthy. They're noteworthy. So I hope you're taking note, and I hope that you're helping to share these videos. Sharing is caring. I care about this place. I would probably fight to the death if someone told me that this place was going to be torn down, burned to a crisp and paved over and made into houses or something like that. The animals that live here, this whole place is comprised of their houses. I just had three quail fly in front of me from the opposite side of the road. So anyway, it's almost like a sign, a little synchronicity saying, hey, yeah, we're here. If you see us in the road, slow down for us. In fact, you should see us in the road, because while you're driving in our house, you should be seeing us, the inhabitants of this house. That's what I would feel if I were the wildlife and I wanted to put my voice out there. Wildlife doesn't have a voice that we typically listen to, but I do. So thankfully for you who have become a viewer of this channel by clicking on the thumbs up and the subscribe, thankfully you're able to also hear the translation of what these animals are trying to tell us. And maybe the animals will hear what us animals are trying to say as well. And maybe between the combination of all the species, we might be able to come up with a solution if we actually look at each other eye to eye and recognize what it's like to look at something with joy and with admiration, instead of just looking at something fearfully and hatefully with bigotry towards anything, any species. So that's all I've got to say. Until next time, peace, love, and all that old school stuff. Stay tuned. I hope you watch the next clips. I got my run in this morning. I think that I may or may not have included something that says that, but whatever the case, it's been a fantastic day. I did a run, and then I also did a 5-mile round trip hike up Lost Mine, and I still feel great. So until next time, again, thanks for watching. Peace, love, and all that old school stuff.